Hey,
Howdy.
howdy. Oh, that's a new one. Back on your
Howdy.
cowboy theme.
Yeah. I'm definitely still in my Yellowstone era,
Mm-hmm.
my cowboy era.
The problem is, I think I've talked about watching ER. I am on season 3 of Yellowstone, but now I've switched back to ER, and I'm just very like one track. So I'm on that binge right now, and it's so good. And you were saying that you're watching The Pit,
The Pit is really good.
which is what started all this. So I was on episode like 3 of that. That's halted because that's how ER got into the mix because that hot guy and who's on The Pit.
Noah Weil
Yes.
and Daddy.
Welcome to Disrespectfully
with Katie Maloney.
and Dana Cathan.
Unapologetically,
We're here to do what we want to do.
spilling the tea.
Babe, you're going to see the power of women, like disrespectfully.
Okay, this is kind of a throwback, but do you know what I always remember him as? He's the mean friend in Enough, J-Lo's finest cinematic achievement.
That's right.
I have seen that movie 800. That and Selena when they're on
Oh.
TV. It's a no skip for me.
Oh, yeah. That's a no skip for me. Same with like Bridesmaids. It's a no skip.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
I love Selena. Like, yeah.
I every time when that song is playing at the end and they slow mo, all cry about what happened to her. I mean, it's obviously such a sad story. I actually just listened to, because I've listened to every episode of My Favorite Murder, I've now going back and started. It's just their voices are like, it's such an honor to me when someone tells us that this podcast is their comfort podcast
Mhm.
because their voices just soothe me. So I'll like put it on in the background. And they did an episode about Selena. And I was like, wow, I haven't seen that in about 2 years. It's time.
Oh, yeah. No, I feel like that's like a once every couple months.
Yeah.
I own it on iTunes, so I can watch it whenever I want. No big deal.
Okay,
Also,
great.
a
I'm
movie-
gonna watch it.
I have a lot of like comfort movies. I think we've talked a little about it, but another one I always like to watch is That Thing You Do. What's crazy about that is that song.
Is that with Cameron Diaz?
No, That Thing You Do with Liv Tyler's in it. It's about the owner band.
I've never seen that.
What?
Oh, I'm thinking
Tom
of the, I'm
Hanks
thinking of
is
the
in it.
sweetest thing. No, I've never seen that.
It's so good. So they have the song that is like their like hit, and you hear it so many times throughout the movie, and it's so good. And fun fact, the guy from Fountains of Wayne wrote it. In case anyone was wondering.
I was gonna, that was gonna be my next question. Who wrote it? So is Liv Tyler in the band?
No, she plays the girlfriend of the lead singer, and he's a
Okay.
Ethan Embry's in it.
I don't even know who that is.
You've seen Empire Records.
Yes.
Mark.
Oh, okay.
And he's
Okay.
also in Can't Hardly Wait.
With Jen Aniston?
Mhm.
Okay, I've seen that
no,
one.
No, Jen, not Aniston.
Love Hugh.
Love Hewitt.
That Jen.
That Jen.
Also, one that I wasn't, sometimes you like run across one and you can't remember if it was your child mind that just thought it was a really good movie. Heartbreakers, which I think we've talked about before.
Is that the one with the mom and the daughter, Jen?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
who plays her mom?
Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver. And it holds up, and she's so hot in that. And I love the costuming
Mhm.
in that because they just have her in all these little saucy 90s dresses. It was like right before the bandage dress took over and ruined that style. And it was just like really well fitted. And the My Name is Earl guy is like the sweet love interest.
Yeah.
She's a great example of me in terms of like never picking the nice person that loves you and then always having to pick the person that's awful to you.
Yeah.
We're working on it though, you guys. It's 2025. Currently, I'm just not dating anyone ever, but I love that movie.
I know. I haven't seen that one in a while. Sigourney. I don't know where I saw this. They're like, is there anyone else named Sigourney?
No, I checked.
Like, I've never heard of anyone else. Like, what is that?
Sigourney Weaver. She's such an icon too.
I know. Really, I need to go back and watch that one. And you really need to watch That Thing You Do. I think you'd love it.
What's that? We should do a movie day
And
at
the
your place
one
for all the
guy,
ones you have.
he's been in so many other movies, but he plays a drummer, Shades, because he always wears sunglasses. Who's the other guy? Steve Zahn. Like, it's a packed cast. It's so good. And he's so funny in it.
Well, that's also a thing about 90s movies that I love is that it's like a time capsule of all these people. And you're like, damn, this is a stacked cast. ER,
Mm.
which again, I can't remember if I've already talked about, but whatever. I can't believe the cameos. Every episode, there is someone who's very famous.
Like, everyone got their start on ER.
Everyone got their start. One of the main characters, Carol, if you've seen ER, she had a reoccurring role in Sopranos. And last night, whilst I couldn't sleep, I was doing the math and I was like, she was on ER before Sopranos. So when the Sopranos crowd was watching that, they probably knew her in real time from ER. And they're like, oh, that's Carol. But to me, I was like,
yeah,
oh, that's that junky real estate agent. She's on ER.
exactly. Yeah, no, I love like a binge of like an old show that like you kind of missed the boat on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad because you know it's going to come to an end. There's not going to be any more seasons.
Right. But I have about 8 more to go. So I feel good about it. And they're 45-minute episodes. They're long.
Did you watch Scandal?
No.
Okay. I love that show so much because Kerry Washington, Olivia Pope, she's just so amazing. But you wouldn't like it because there is a will they, won't they? But I love that.
I like it to an extent. It's like it's not like I can't tolerate it, but it's when it's every season and they finally get together and then the writers rip them apart and I just can't handle it. Like Luke and Lorelai, it's a big bummer for me. I can't deal with it. All's well that ends well, finally. But then when they come back for their seasons on Netflix, there's another issue.
Well, can we just agree that Gilmore's seasons thing never should have happened?
100%.
Like it was most like dissatisfying just thing to do. And I don't know. I didn't appreciate it.
And Richard passing in real life was like, there was a heaviness about it for me. And also they said, I think one of the first scenes they all filmed was his wake in the show. And obviously he had died in real life. And they were like, it was really brutal.
Yeah. Anyway.
Hey, I have something to tell you.
Okay. And then I have a circle back.
I do too.
Oh.
That's what I was going to tell you. Okay. I don't know if this is based in reality, but I saw it on TikTok and I Googled and I kind of saw mixed answers. So maybe Allison, you can be looking this up while we're talking about it.
Gotcha.
Because we have before talked about different groups of animals and what they're called. Do you know a group of hippos is called a bloat?
No, that's amazing.
It's accurate and funny, but at the same time, like, why? Who picked that? I mean, they were just like, they look at him as an animal and they're like, bloat. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean.
Yeah, more than like, what is like some of that, but.
The murder of crows, the curiosity of ravens, or whatever.
I mean, I like those. Those feel like really inspired, but there's some that I'm just like, I don't get it.
They're like, they see a group of cheetahs and they're like, spots.
Spots.
It's a spot of cheetahs. Anyway, I just thought that was funny and thought that you would appreciate it.
I do appreciate that. So next time I feel like I'm bloated, I'm just going to be like, I just feel like a bunch of hippopotamuses.
A group of cheetahs is called a coalition.
Oh, see, that also makes sense for me because they're so agile and seem like they're on their business. So
true. They're organized.
Yeah. They're very fast, I hear.
Yeah.
So what was your circle back?
So funny enough, after I was talking about the pandas recently, so like people, I've been getting lots of panda videos, so I really appreciate that. Thank you. Helps with my algorithm. But I found out that there are pandas at the San Diego Zoo. So I would like to go visit them and say hello. I can't remember their names, but they are from China, obviously. And I want to go meet them. But also, did you know that you can watch live cams at the zoo? You can watch the giraffes. You can watch the pandas. You can watch the polar bears, koala bears. I was like upset. Like I spent a whole lunch just like looking at all the live feeds.
Okay, but because one of the things I want to talk about today is the live streaming of a particular animal, but it's not at a zoo. But very interesting stuff. So did you watch the pandas?
Yeah,
How were they doing?
Sleeping. The most action I got on the live feed was the koala bear.
What's a group of koala bears called? Do they have babies or are they all grown up pandas?
From what I can see, I only saw an adult panda. Oh my God, I saw this video the other day though of a sloth stuck in the street and sloth stuck anywhere. They try to like move and their arms are like, but they were helping it out of the road and put it in a tree. And then there was a baby and they're holding the baby like this and the baby's like this. And the sloth is so slow trying to grab it and hold it that they're like just propping it up. And the baby sloth is like, ee. It's so
cute.
It's so tiny. But sloths are so cute, man. I know that is like a very popular opinion, but like, man, when you watch some sloth videos, you're like, wow, I get it. If you're gonna be obsessed with an animal, it should be a sloth.
A group of koalas is called a population, but a group of sloths is called a snuggle.
See, whoever is naming these,
I should name them.
Is being very cheeky. It's a specificity. It's based on what do they think of them as snuggle. Because every time I see someone holding a sloth, the sloth just comes right in, push past my personal boundaries. I wouldn't mind it. I love that video of that person holding the sloth, so its arms are just out, and they play the Titanic music.
That's what happens.
Makes so much sense.
Their limbs are so long.
Reb, friend of the podcast, made a TikTok yesterday, and she did a list of things that are out, and it was so accurate. I commented on it before it was finished because I was like, yes,
it was long.
It was really long, but then she was like, Titanic. No one gives a move on. I was like,
Dana's not gonna like that. No, she said like searching, like doing like any kind of like exploration of the Titanic.
oh, okay.
Exploring like the remains, basically.
Yeah, we got to move on from it.
Because I was like, well, I think you would agree with that, but I was like, This episode of Disrespectfully is brought to you by Graza, my new favorite olive oil. It's fresh, it's never blended, it comes from a single type of olive, the Picul. It's straight out of Jaén, Spain, where over half the world's olive oil is produced.
I'm being so serious. Last night I made pasta because I'm an adult. I put a little bit on my tongue before because I genuinely love the taste. Graza provides you with single origin goodness. Only one olive from one region, no mysterious blends. That means a traceable, fresher product without mixing in any lower grade or unknown oils. Plus, with its super fun squeeze and spray bottles, there's no more messy tins or dripping spouts. Just aim, squeeze, and go. I feel like I'm on the Bear because they use those like bottles, you know?
Oh, yeah. Graza has 3 types of olive oil for any task. Frizzle with a 490-degree smoke point, perfect for frying, crisping, or grilling. Sizzle with a 410-degree smoke point, an everyday cooking oil for roasting, marinating, and sauteing. And Drizzle, a bold, punchy finishing oil you can sprinkle on salads, dip bread in, or even top off ice cream.
I'm going to try it. And if you're like me and are trying to eat healthier after you put your olive oil on your ice cream, Graza is the olive oil for you. Finally, a quality olive oil that doesn't break the bank, loaded with heart and brain-friendly polyphenols, so you'll be eating good without any of the nasty stuff.
Nasty. Head to Graza.co and use code Disrespectfully to get 10% off of Trio, which includes Sizzle, Frizzle, and Drizzle, and get to cooking your next chef-quality meal. Take your food to the next level with Graza olive oil. Visit Graza.co/disrespectfully and use promo code Disrespectfully today for 10% off of Trio.
Okay, so something beautiful that's happening right now is that winter is ending. Say bye-bye to cold, miserable days and shiver-ridden nights. I've been wearing socks like a murderer at night in my bed because I'm so cold.
Same, and good riddance. But the thing about spring being around the corner is that warmer weather, which means sweaty pits.
Sweaty pits.
Yeah.
Yikes. Good thing we've got Lume whole body deodorant. Unlike deodorants I've tried, Lume can handle anything.
Lume is safe to use anywhere on your body: pits, underboobs, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, vulvas, and feet.
Boob sweat and swamp ass be gone. And the best part, it was created by an OBGYN who saw firsthand how normal BO is misdiagnosed and mistreated. Plus, Lume is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours.
My new fave is the Clean Tangerine Spray Deodorant. Not only do I smell like a fresh, flirty, and fruity woman, but also doesn't leave any marks on my clothes.
And all products are baking soda free, paraben free, and pH balanced for safe use below the waist.
Lume Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping.
As a special offer for our listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lume products with our exclusive code. And if you combine that 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off their starter pack. Use code Disrespectfully for 15% off your first purchase at lumedeodorant.com. That's code Disrespectfully at Lumedeodorant.com.
Please, please, please support our show and tell them we sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Lume. Who doesn't love the good things in life, right?
Not I. Obviously, we love the good things in life.
Yeah. Even though I really enjoy a little luxury, it doesn't always mean I can afford it until I discovered Quince. Quince is my go-to for luxury essentials at affordable prices.
Quince offers a range of high-quality items at prices within reach, like 100% Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50, washable silk tops and dresses, organic cotton sweaters, and 14-karat gold jewelry.
The best part, all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us.
And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. And I just love that. I just feel like that's so rare these days. I just got the 100% organic cotton knit blazer. It's so lightweight and chic with just as good quality as luxury item, but at a much lower price. What's better than that?
Nothing. Give yourself the luxury you deserve with Quince. Go to quince.com/disrespectfully for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/disrespectfully to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/disrespectfully.
The rest of them, one of the things that haunt me from that list really bummed me out to hear. So obviously I need to share with you guys. She said using a colostomy hole for anything other than a colostomy bag. I'm just going to leave that floating in the air. Do with it what you will. But
Did you Google it?
No, because I know what she means. And it made my stomach drop. I was like, oh, you guys, it's so wrong. And you know, we're an anal positive podcast, but it's like such a different thing. Like that is just,
that is fucking foul.
Anyway, but go. Oh God, by the time they listen to this, it's going to be weeks out, but it's so funny. Her list of things just made so much sense.
I know. I was trying to think of some of the other ones while you're just sitting there naming them.
Well,
but
let's split
and see whether I agree with them or not.
Free will. Let's see here. Okay, so she's like, Times Square, New Year's Eve, so real. Mount Everest, we've talked about it before.
Spending money to go climb it.
Cave diving, which we've talked about before.
No thanks.
Toddlers and tiaras, Burning Man, cults without hobbies or perks, Confederate flag tattoos, dad naming their child after an ex or mistress. I just saw a video somewhere on an app that I'm not going to disclose that this girl was like, my ex named his first child my first and middle name. Do you think the mom knows?
How could she not know who his ex was? Whenever you date somebody, you know, you got all the tea.
You know, when you like hate someone, obviously familiar feeling to us, it obviously ruins the name of if you were ever going to have a future child. If you like, just know I'm not naming, if I had a daughter, Jill or Olivia. It's not happening. And no offense if those are either of your names, but it's just like bad memories I have with those people. I'm like, I'm not, it's just not happening.
No way.
It can change future generations, your hatred of people.
Yeah, except for now my current boyfriend has the same name as one of my exes.
First name?
Yeah.
Nick? Yeah.
And it's the only one I don't like talk to or like really care for too. I'm like cool with all the other ones.
Well, we're rewriting history then. Then he's plugging in now. You can have a Nick positive experience. But yeah, I just thought that was funny. I'm like, if I had a child with someone and I didn't know that information and then found it out, it's like their 5th birthday and you're like bitterly singing their happy birthday song.
Like, happy birthday, Olivia.
I thought that was funny.
Oh, that is good shit. Do you have any things that like you would add to the list? I mean, the list was pretty extensive.
Oh my God, the list was she said, answering scam callers. Again, who is doing this? Also, I loved visiting the strip club when you're broke. So lame.
But is there anyone who's going, well, I don't know. Depends on the strip club, but I feel like you're going to find a lot of grifters there. It's just, I feel like I think of grifters and I think of strip club.
Yeah, well, you have cash at a strip club. It's just kind of like the rule. So I think that is brokey behavior. Not waving back at a baby actively waving at you is so funny and so true. People who are like that way, even if you don't like kids, I'm like, what? It's a baby and it's waving. You just wave. It's like the same way of driving by a horse and not saying horse.
One time I waved at a baby because it was staring at me and the parents sarcastically were like, oh, I'm sure he can see you. Because I know kids can't, like babies can't see more than like a foot in front of their face. And I'm just like, well, in my mind, he can. And also like, I'm just trying to be friendly. I'm trying to teach your kids some manners. A, not to stare, and B, say hi if you are.
Why don't you flip the baby off and see how they like them apples? I'm sure they wouldn't.
They can't see it.
And like, oh my God, wait, what else did she say?
The one about the driving the huge, massive truck to your regular day job. She's like, that's meant for hauling around like tons of like
Yellowstone
farm shit. You work at T-Mobile.
It's Yellowstone behavior. Yeah, with the trucks with like the 2 wheels on the back sitting next to each other. Why are we doing that?
Why are we? I don't know. Complex. We've let like men get away with too much.
No, they've gone too far. I mean, our list is extensive, but it's like when someone asks you something you like and you can't remember. In my list of things I hate, it's our basement. We could run the tape.
I also say, the whole like asking what you do for fun. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
Stop asking questions. Period.
That's been a thing.
Tell stories.
I ask a lot of
Entertain
questions and tell stories.
You know what gets upset when people have a problem with other people talking about their dreams. I love dream stories. I know I wasn't there. I know it wasn't real, but you know what? Dreams are fucking wild.
I had a crazy one last night. I mean, all of mine are crazy and I remember them. It kind of was like at a factory Yellowstone situation, but then also I was auditioning for Nobody Wants This. I was following Aaron Foster around, which I would do in real life, but looks like they've set the cast and we're doing table reads, and I'm not an actress with formal training. So
Damn.
wasn't looking good. But I was like trying to audition, and then Beyonce opened this club and there was a black cat that was living there. And there was like this weird thing. And then I was hired to run the club. And then there was this factory situation and there was some dirty goings on in terms of Yellowstone behavior. And then there was a big explosion and there was water everywhere and this goo. And there were times it was the guy from the one hot blonde that I like because I'm not really into blondes. The motorcycle show.
Sons of Anarchy, Charlie Hunnam.
Yes.
Yes.
He was there. So he was like the Caleb in my dream. And then there was this other chick and we kept going under things and having to hold our breath in the dream and like being like, am I going to drown? Anyway, we got it on the other side. Everything was fine. And then Beyonce wanted me to run the club. And then I asked if I could take the cat home and she had a real problem with that. So anywho, there was a lot of components, but
that sounds like a movie.
and it was like scary. The fear of being aware in my dream, am I going to drown? But then I was fine, obviously.
The club was in water?
No, that was a separate part
the
of like
water,
a
you
separate
said.
area.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then we were like in a field and we got out of all this and there was like this goo and
You're going to drown in the goo.
yeah, it was like a
Oh.
water goo mixture and something had to do with paint. I don't know. It was so weird. And anyway, I felt really excited to run the club. I've never run a club before either.
Well,
So
maybe this is your dream telling you that's your calling.
and a club with cats. Hello.
Hello.
But I was like, wait, who takes care of it at night? Can I take it home? And
Do you go to the Cat Scratch Club?
what is that?
Rent anybody?
Mm,
That's
Mm.
what you should call it. Cat Scratch Club.
the cat scratch. Is that what it's called in the?
Yeah, that's where Mimi works. I dance.
I've been watching a lot of Broadway content. I think I was fed that because of Wicked and everyone's current
Mhm.
obsession with it. But Mary Kate something, she was the long running Elphaba and she just stopped and another one just started and she's amazing. I love the new cast too, but I was very sad for Mary Kate to have her contract ending because, they always switch people in and out.
Mhm.
So she always had these videos about like de-greening after the show and then showing her warm up before. Could never be us being on Broadway for lots of reasons, but they have to be completely quiet during the day and like breathe into the smog thing.
Yeah, I
and-
wouldn't mind that actually. When I'm at home and I'm just like there in my like little zone, sometimes it'll be like 5:00 and I'm like, I haven't spoken a word.
I would combust. I talk to myself. I talk to Laszlo.
I mean, but a lot of times I do talk to myself. A lot of times I'm just like replaying like old scenarios in my head. Do you ever do that? Like retroactively replay scenarios and like do speeches?
I've had more fights with myself than I've had with real people in real life. Are you kidding? You're in the shower and you have like a total burn and you're like,
I'm not even talking about like when you have something coming up because I do that too, but I'm talking about like just stuff from years ago and you're like, you know what? I have the perfect thing. And you have to say it out loud just to like know what it sounds like.
Yeah.
So good.
all the time. I just, in general, I have a really active daydream brain.
Mm-hmm.
Like I daydream a lot. I have a lot of big plans that I have yet to execute and things that I would want to do or would be cool. And I think it's nice to be delusional in that way and just like feel the joy that it brings you and kind of hold on to that.
That's how I've gotten like anything in my life done. I'm just like completely, utterly delusional about it. But I believe it's so hard that like it ends up happening. I don't think there's one thing that like so far.
You haven't manifested
Yeah.
or same.
I'm powerful. What can I say?
Well, truly. And then sometimes I'll have a reminder of that and Raleigh would be like, you need to be more careful about what you say. Cause then also I run through bad scenarios and stress. And then it's like, yeah, you could be speaking this into existence and it's just not the vibe. Do you know what we haven't done? Which I'm remembering now?
Daddy list.
Daddy list. I only have one today on Daddy list and basement. We can do as many or as little as we want. So it changes all the time.
Mhm.
Monica Lewinsky
Ugh.
is on my daddy
Yes.
list. And I can't recall if we've ever put her on, but we have said she would be our dream guest.
I wanted to have her on as a podcast guest since my old podcast.
Well, and she just went on Call Her Daddy. And again, we should be delusional then. She'll be on this show at some point. But
Yeah.
I was reminded of her after I listened to her Call Her Daddy episode. And then she has a podcast and I didn't know that. So I will be listening and I'm very excited about it. She is just such a powerhouse and so eloquent. And by the way, not that it matters, but she looks amazing.
Oh, she looks great.
She looks so good. And she was done so dirty. And it's crazy that like the Gen Z generation doesn't remember this because
Yeah.
we were young, but of course it was everywhere. And at that time, our parents were showing us wildly inappropriate things. So why did I know the concept of the blue dress? I don't know, but I did. And I watched, I think you did too, her not American Horror Story, but whatever they did, like just like they did for OJ on FX,
Yeah.
the story of what happened. And
Mhm.
the fact that man was president and 59 years old when she was a 22-year-old intern. And back then, I don't think they had the language around power imbalance.
No.
But what happened in talking about consent when there's a power imbalance involved, they had a full-blown emotional affair and he fully threw her under the bus and made it look like it was some cheap thing and she was chasing him around. And it was just like, and then that Linda Tripp skank who totally invaded her privacy, recorded her calls in confidence,
Yeah.
and just
How is she even able to get away with that? That's illegal.
well, I think it depends on the state.
Oh.
Whether it's like
Whoa.
in California, you have to know you're being recorded and they have to disclose that, so both parties need to know. But certain states, it's one party. I don't know, but because her hatred of Bill Clinton, she just completely ruined this girl's life, and it obviously followed her forever. She talked about her difficulties getting a job, and she was super overqualified. I think she has if not a PhD, a master's, and like all these different things that impacted her for years, and dating, which is something.
Yeah. Oh my God. Like I imagine that was impossible.
Well, it was nice to hear that perspective because I never had before and had wondered about it, where it's like, okay, being on a reality show, it kind of feels weird when you're dating because someone could access information about you and take it out of context, or even if it is in context, it feels vulnerable that someone can learn about you in a way that you normally have to learn about each other as you go. Yeah, imagine having that scarlet A burn on your chest. And yeah, I'm like, she also said, like, even though I was young, I did something wrong and I made mistakes and I own that, but it was a completely unbalanced punishment, in terms of
100%.
like, and yeah, Bill Clinton, I think he has publicly apologized to her, but she said that she's never gotten that from him, and she has grown enough that she doesn't need it anymore. But
I just think people need to also understand, like, imagine mistakes you've made, missteps you've took and in your early years, because that's what you're supposed to do. Like in your 20s, you're supposed to fuck up and you're supposed to learn. Those are the lessons that you're going to take with you in life. But most people get to do that in private, and they could think like, oh, nothing I've done has been that big. Well, if you were in the public eye, it would be blown up.
Yeah.
And your side of the story would be twisted, or, the other side, whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, be thankful that you have that kind of anonymity, that you don't have to like have your mistakes be, plastered everywhere and have to like follow you around.
yeah, so she is just an incredible woman. I just love her, a survivor in many ways, and she's just real, like genuine, authentic. You can just tell what she's made of it. And she says that she loves her 50s and they were by far her best decade. And she was like, I'm telling you, your 30s, 40s, so it just keeps getting better. And she's like, I'm just so comfortable with myself and know myself in a way that I never thought possible. And it's a really exciting time. So I'm really happy for her.
Yeah.
Wish her nothing but the best.
I want to put Noah Weil on my daddy list.
He could go.
He's going right on
Get
that
on
daddy
there.
list.
Either age. I'm like, he's my Carter's so cute in ER.
He's so great. I think he was meant to play doctor roles only, but and then there's also, I don't remember her name on the show, but the woman that plays like, she's like a little bit older. She's like the light hair.
On the Pit?
Oh yeah.
I don't know. 'cause
She's
it's been
daddy
so
too. I like her a
Hold on,
lot.
let's
She's
see.
like one of my favorite characters.
Catherine Lanesa.
Yeah.
Her name in real life is Dana Evans. Dana with no
Evans. She's also daddy.
Okay. Great.
I love like her like lines and the way she delivers them. Like she's just, I don't know. I've just been like replaying that show. It's such a heavy show. I'm just like cry nonstop watching it. Anyway.
No, I'm just like, I don't have anything to say because I don't even remember her character on it because it's been so long. But,
Okay.
well, I love a heavy show.
I know this one.
So-
I cried a lot. I cried a lot watching Yellowstone too. You haven't finished it, huh?
No, I haven't finished it, but there's real emotional parts.
Devastation.
Floor gets mad at me. She put me in the basement for this. I fast forward through things I'm uncomfortable with in the same way I can't watch certain reality TV shows because I just like when there's like an ick or something really bad happens. So I'm not even totally sure what's happened in a certain few scenes in Yellowstone. Like when those guys come to attack Beth, like I couldn't watch it. And then the ER, like there was some like awkward sexual tension happening. And so I fast forwarded and she's like, you don't even know what's happening on the show. Keep fast forwarding.
So when he directs it. Wait, speaking of other shows, have you watched any Love Is Blind?
So I watched the first.
We've been calling it Love is Blind this season, but it's fine.
I watched the first chunk and I fast forwarded through most of it, and also it felt like it was getting really drug out, and they were just in the pods. I only care about that, and I only watch with Raleigh when it gets to they see each other. Like I want to, and you can tell when they are
because the
not
one
into
thing,
it.
Love is not blind.
No.
And also Love is not enough to like look past. Like they've been having a lot of conversations about like politics, and you know, they're like, oh, interesting.
Well, I saw a clip of one of the guys. He was like, I'm 32 or something. And he asked how old the other girl was. And she said 30. And he was like, oh, so you're not hot anymore? The quickness at which I would stand up off that IKEA couch and walk out without saying anything. She stayed and like chatted with him, didn't she?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them have. A lot of them I'm just like, and people can say what you want to fucking say about me, but I would not tolerate that type of anything.
Well, and it showed a picture of a bunch of the guys next to each other, and someone was like on the internet was like, you cannot tell me this is not the same person.
Oh,
and
no,
I was like,
they all look, the men all look, they're like, they all look like brothers who are real estate agents. It's so true.
Yes.
It's like, it is so incredibly vanilla. So I can't tell if they like each other just because they're so like boring. But I keep watching. But the reason why I brought this up is because the other night, Nick and I went to Casa Vega. Guess who sits next to us? Like at the booth right next to us.
who?
Nick and Vanessa Lachey.
Oh,
I wasn't in any way kind of eavesdrop. I hate when people eavesdrop on it, but you know, sometimes like you'll just like catch like bits of a conversation, like of something that they say, and you're like, oh, okay. Like Nick and I were talking about our own thing, but like they have very loud voices. From what it was like, they were not whispering at any. So just don't think I was eavesdropping. But they were started talking about the show, and I was like, wow, this feels so cool.
what were they saying? Give us the inside scoop.
The only part that I could hear that like made me realize that they were talking about the show is they were talking about Monica and how Monica's sister's boyfriend, like she dated first and then was like, oh, you should go be with my sister. I just heard them like referencing that part, and I was like, oh my God, that's funny. They're talking about the show. But I didn't hear anything else after that. It just was like a little bit that stood out to me.
I think that people who don't live in LA don't realize how often these occurrences happen. And sometimes it's mega A-list stars, especially in the Valley area. And it's like all of a sudden you'll look up and be like, oh, I've seen Justin Bieber out a solid handful of times, and like people at that level, and you're just like, oh, that's whoever. And people who live here don't bother them because it's just like, you know, part of life and you don't want to.
Especially at Casa Vega. I feel like I always see people at Casa Vega nonstop.
Yeah. I'm a certified eavesdropper. If I am near you, I'm listening to your conversation. I am a nosy Parker. I can't help it. I love to listen to another convo. I love to understand the dynamics, especially if
I know, I do too, but this particular time I wasn't trying to. That's just
their voice was
trying
just
to make.
carrying.
Yes, exactly.
Well, even if I'm not trying, I'll like stop talking at dinner and I'm like, shh, and lean over, because it's, especially if like there's a couple fighting or whatever, it just brings joy. I think it's just like how people are like, small minds gossip. Gossiping is a part of culture, and it is lovely to gossip with your friends. Are you kidding?
First of all, small minds gossip. Give me a break.
Yeah,
Boring people don't.
Yeah, I think that gossiping is fundamental to who we are as people, and sometimes it's nice to have a good chat.
I'm really good at it.
I'm really good at it, and these are the things that you can't put on a resume. That I'm like, you know what? I am the personality hire, and we'll have a chit chat.
That's why we're doing this right here.
That's true. It is our job. You're right. It is. It's like people sitting down with our goss sesh, but. Yeah,
also, it's a good way to
look down on that.
It's a good way to like get the bits off of your chest that you don't like. I'll say mostly anything to someone's face. Yeah. However, things I say behind your back, not all of them make it your way. But I mostly need to just say them just to say them because it feels good, and then I've like exercised the demon.
Also, I am very sensitive, and I am a tough ass broad. I've been through some wild shit in my life and come out on the other side. But I actually don't want to know your opinions about me. I'm like, why don't you talk shit about me behind my back like a normal person? It's so true. Like, yeah, if you're in a spat and you're in a full on fight, but if you just, tell your friends. If you're frustrated with me, that's fine. Don't bring it to me and then smile when you see me. Actually, it reminds me of those three friends from White Lotus. So I have I've been watching.
Okay,
have you been watching?
Yeah, and it's still boring, but
it's still boring. I haven't gotten there, and by the time we're recording this, another episode will come out. But so I'm talking about the third episode specifically.
Yeah,
and I wanted to bring something up that I loved that Mike White did, and so I think his portrayals of these different dynamics, but these three girls is interesting because also when you've been friends with someone for 20 years, I don't even consider it shit talking. We all get frustrated with each other, so like that happens when at one moment you feel more comfortable with this person and you need to air it out. they seem mean and like there's like they hate each
Well,
other
it just
friendship.
seems like
but
they've like they're clinging to like an earlier time in their lives, maybe that bonded them, and now they don't necessarily agree with their lifestyles now.
yeah.
Which is having it's like a conflict of interest.
So what I was going to say specifically that I love that he portrayed was finding out that a friend of yours has a different political opinion. I love the way they did that. And I also think it was, when it's clear that the one girl, voted for Trump and the two friends are like shocked by that because for a lot of people, us included, that would be shocking. But I love that the way that she turned it around on them to be like, are we really going to talk about Trump? Because I think a lot of times when people in this political climate don't want to talk about it is because they know that they have an unpopular opinion. So they make others try to feel uncomfortable and like they're the problem for talking about something that is uncomfortable. There's a lot happening right now that feels
That's the
divisive
point,
and it's the point. So I just thought that was chef's kiss. And the way that the two friends immediately picked up on that and were like, yeah, let's go to Austin and hang out at your mega church. Sounds really fun.
I completely agree with everything you just said, that they're watching their dynamic is very interesting, but then they'll kind of like scoot past it and just start like talking about how Lori should fuck the energy guy.
Yeah.
But I want this show to pick up. I want it to look good. So far, the only person that I find is caring and is interesting in the show is Chelsea and Rick.
Yeah.
I like them a lot.
Yep.
Everyone else, Mooring, the whole family. I mean, I love Parker Posey, but it's even kind of like, okay, so are we just going to get the pilled out vibe the whole time? It's interesting, but like, I don't know. There's not a lot of character development there.
For me, I'll give any show one episode to be boring. And White Lotus has historically been so good, but it's kind of like sometimes you'll watch a whole season just to be, because you're just in it. And then by the time it's over, you're like, okay, so nothing is going to happen. I get it. So it kind of feels like that's the direction this is heading.
I truly hope not, but I can't tell. Normally you're kind of being able to like piece things together, and it is such like a character driven show that like that's like what you're trying to like clue in on as like the dynamics between the people and who they are. And I'm just like, I'm not getting anything. Like I understand that there's like this sort of like you have to question things and sort of like start to try to figure it out for yourself. But there's way too many like just question. You know what I mean? At this point, like let's fucking go. Like what are we waiting for? Like what did the dad do? Why are the feds after him?
Yeah.
It shouldn't take 3 episodes for you to like get a little bit more information.
No, it's getting so drawn out. But do you know who I love that we will stick on the daddy list? And also I want to manifest having as a guest on the show, Natasha Rothwell.
Oh, yeah.
Love her so down bad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was an Insecure fan from day one, act one, scene one. So that was, and obviously she's been in so much, she has a prolific career, but her as Kelly in that show was like, one of the backbones of it. It was so good. And she just played that character so well. But I don't know if we've talked about this online or offline. Do you know she's making a movie about Risa Tisa's story?
Yeah,
did we talk about that?
We talked about that. That was, I saw that in the chat, but yeah, no, we absolutely talked about this. Like that news broke a while back.
So I am thrilled about that, but it kind of reminds me of what Sean Baker was saying about tell the stories that you want to tell. I love that someone's going to tell that. It deserves a movie.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was a 50-part, 10 minutes. That's 500 minutes of story.
Because the same one, what was the other one that was a long Twitter thread about the girl?
Zola.
So good.
One of my probably favorite movies of all time. So well done. But also the story was incredible in the way that they intertwined the tweets. If you've never seen Zola, you need to see it. But the origin story of it, the Zola in real life, back on Twitter when Twitter was like the main thing, did a huge tweet and it started, she was like, it's long but full of suspense and like tells that whole story.
Yeah.
So you need to see it. But
really good.
I can't wait to see the movie. And Risa Tisa, I hope they are paying her. I'm sure they are. And I hope she just wish her nothing but the best.
I want her to be a producer.
Uh-huh.
I want her to get those credits, get that money, get that, everything on the back end, front end, what I'm talking about. Should we talk about that other movie that we've been watching?
Yeah.
Or did you watch the whole Oh, you didn't watch the whole thing.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
It's called Don't Die. It's Brian Johnson's story. He's a millionaire and he's trying to age in reverse. I don't really have I got halfway through it. I'm like, so there's no like positive side. I don't know, in my opinion. So he takes over 200 pills a day. He's doing like,
he's a billionaire.
Yes, it's millions and millions of dollars put into this. And I don't know, hearing his backstory, He grew up in the Mormon church. He was practicing Mormon up until like I think him and his wife separated. And the man has had a lot of mental health struggles. And it seems like he just sort of scooted right past all that and went to another addiction of sorts and never really addressed like, sir, you sounds like you have depression. I'm not trying to diagnose you, but it sounds like you were very, very depressed. And you basically said, what I did, it was just turning my mind off. I released myself from my mind. So no, you're burying is what you're doing. And then just became completely obsessed with not aging.
The thing for me about it is we want to be hot for as long as possible, but I'm here for a good time, not a long time. And his obsession with seeing how long he can live with still being well, I think that's what he's trying to prove.
He's alive at 60, but his heart is that of like a 25-year-old. This way, yeah. But it sounds like you're just not dying, you're not living.
That's what I was going to say. Like, for me, I went to, because of the hormonal issues I was having, I couldn't figure out, and my constant tummy problems, I went to a naturopath, and I believe what she had to say about what she was reading for me, but she gave me, it ended up being 50 pills a day, in addition to the other pills I do to maintain my serotonin levels. So I tried it for like 3 days. It sounds, like doable. It is impossible. I could not imagine having to take 200 pills a day. For you to get up in the morning and that is all you think about throughout your day, I don't know, it just could never be me.
Like him just like working out. Also, throughout the movie, you see just like him doing nonstop like naked photo shoots. Like I can't tell how much this really is about like him wanting to like do something good for mankind or him just being so fucking vain and so mentally unwell.
Meanwhile, there's world hunger. I'm like, I would never be a billionaire because I'd keep giving away money and solving problems. To each their own, but he also looks see-through. Like
his skin is a color I've never seen on a human in my life.
That I didn't know happened in nature. It seems like he's drinking formaldehyde shakes in the morning, and that's part of what's happening. He looks like something you'd find at Madame Tussauds. He looks like something that you would, find in a made of beeswax. He looks like Uncanny Valley in real life. So I'm like
creepy.
He's like I look 20, and I'm like, no, you look not. Something doesn't look
the
right.
The hair is weird. The braid, I couldn't. He kept putting his hair in this like weird little French braid that I couldn't handle.
Could not take seriously.
But it's just like, why do you have your hair like that? Like, I know he does like hair regenerate. Like, just be bald if you want to be. Like, just go with nature. Do as nature intended. I don't know, or do or don't. I don't know. It just looks weird when people are just like desperately trying not to be like their age, and it's always in men too. I don't know why. But the naked photo shoots, also the weird relationship he has with that girl, Kate or whatever her name is. Like, clearly you're fucking, so like that's why she's there. There's no other reason why this girl, she's supposedly like when she met Brian, she goes, I was the most unhealthy. I ate McDonald's. I'm like, so yeah, you became the number one candidate to help him on this journey. You also have his age.
Also, I'm never not gonna eat McDonald's or have the occasional Campbell Crush because I don't know about you, but I don't know anyone who's having that great of a time on earth that you're like, let's try to double this.
Well, that's what I mean. Okay, it's one thing if your quality of life, but if your quality of life is just doing rigorous like treatments on your body and also experimenting on your body based on like tests that they've done on mice. Again, they're like, if this really wants to become like a credible sort of thing, it would need to be studied in a larger group of people, not just like one man.
Right.
And then there was the whole thing about how it became very like money related, like because he was linking, he had like affiliate links, like everything that he was using, and like them. I don't think, and like I don't think that was his goal. But
do you think that he's actually a billionaire?
A billionaire or a millionaire?
I think he said billionaire.
I thought he said that he had like $400 million was his worth.
Oh, okay. Well, which is obviously still crazy, but to me, yeah, it was kind of giving MLM, but for eternity.
Oh yeah,
like
no, him selling the olive oil
came back and was selling on TikTok Shop. He's like, try my nail growth serum.
Yeah, this is like Blueprint olive oil or whatever it's called. No, like it was once. It's one thing like get the affiliate link, may as well. But like when you come out with your own product like that, like it's just. And I also think that's such a dangerous area to go into when it's not clinically backed and it's like it's just your own science, sir. And the relationship with the son also creeped me out.
Yeah, and be wary of when someone says that something is clinically studied, it has to say clinically proven. So if they're just saying clinically studied, it means they studied it. And we're like, we don't like these answers, so we're just not going to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought the whole thing was strange. But the thing is, to each their own. But I don't relate to that even with people who are so in the gym and tracking every calorie and doing this and that. And it's just, if that's what you enjoy, do it. But for me, I don't want to fixate on anything that I think it's bad news to like be fixating on one thing. Like
It's
that.
not like, because people be like, they want to talk about alcohol being addiction, social media being addiction. I'm like, well, what do you call this?
Yeah.
That lifestyle is so extreme in the other direction that it is the same thing. It's the same thing, just on two different sides of a coin.
What if I told you the most important part of your spring cleaning routine is your sock drawer? We know the sock drawer.
We do.
You heard me right. It's time to ditch those mismatched, tired pairs and refresh your collection with some Bombas. Bombas has everything you could ever dream of in a sock. And I dream of socks a lot, so I would know.
Are you ready to unlock your new running hobby?
I don't know. Maybe.
Not me, but if you are, Bombas engineers blister-fighting, sweat-wicking athletic socks that will help you go from that first mile to a whole marathon.
Looking for a nice pair to wear to your wedding? Bombas dress socks are made for loafers, heels, and any of your fancy shoes. Because you got to stay comfy on the dance floor.
And for all your other spring cleaning chores, Bombas has cushioned arch-hugging pairs that'll keep you comfy while you spruce up the house and walk the dog and do whatever you do on a normal day.
You know what goes great with new spring socks? Fresh white t-shirts, waterproof slides, and a few pairs of buttery soft underwear. Bombas makes that too. And the best part is that every comfy pair you purchase, Bombas donates another comfy pair to someone facing homelessness, which we love.
My Bombas are stylish, comfortable, and dynamic, and all for a good cause. What can be better than that?
And you are stylish and dynamic, and comfortable. And Bombas is going international, baby. Enjoy worldwide shipping to over 200 countries.
Head over to bombas.com/disrespectfully and use code disrespectfully for 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/disrespectfully, code disrespectfully for 20% off your first purchase. bombas.com/disrespectfully and use code disrespectfully.
I don't know about you, but I like keeping my money where I can see it. Unfortunately, traditional big wireless carriers also seem to like keeping my money too. After years of overpaying for wireless, I finally got fed up from crazy high wireless bills, bogus fees, and free perks that actually cost more in the long run. So I switched to Mint Mobile.
Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with you all your existing contacts. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless services from Mint Mobile for $15 a month.
If you like your money, Mint Mobile is for you. Shop plans at mintmobile.com/disrespectfully. That's mintmobile.com/disrespectfully.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month, 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for the first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
I've struggled for years to find the right skincare product for me. I'm fed up with products on the market labeling themselves as clean or non-toxic, yet their ingredient list is so alarming.
Well, guess what? That's not a problem anymore. Purity Woods is here with a mission to provide people with the cleanest, most effective, healthy, aging, and longevity products available.
All their products are USDA certified organic, non-GMO, free of anything artificial, free of toxic preservatives and synthetic additives like pesticides, chemical fertilizers, and dyes, parabens, and of course, it's cruelty-free and never tested on animals.
Their age-defying Dream Cream is a game changer. It will make you look and feel like you've jumped back in time. Its powerful formula contains revolutionary maple leaf extracts, plus over 25 unique and potent ingredients that help eliminate fine lines, wrinkles, age spots, and uneven skin tone, which these days, check.
It was formulated by skincare chemists at the top of their field to create a product that supports collagen and elastin production without irritation, drying of the skin, or hormone disruption.
If you're ready to detox your skincare routine of those hormone-disrupting synthetic chemicals that plague 99% of the skincare industry, but you don't want to compromise on results, I highly recommend you try out Purity Woods Age-Defying Dream Cream. And if you don't agree that it's the best skincare you've ever used, your purchase is protected by a 60-day happiness guarantee.
With every order, Purity Woods makes a donation to One Tree Planted, an incredible nonprofit that plants trees in in-need areas such as forests affected by wildfire. Not only are you doing a fantastic thing for your skin and your health, you're also helping plant a tree where it's desperately needed.
Honestly, I have never seen a skincare product with this quality at this reasonable of a price point. Thankfully, the good people at Purity Woods have a special coupon code specifically for our listeners. You can try it for yourself. 27% off today.
Just go to puritywoods.com/DRF or enter DRF at checkout. That's puritywoods.com/DRF or enter DRF at checkout. That's puritywoods.com/DRF or enter DRF at checkout. Same
Well,
coin.
I feel like maybe I've talked about this before, and trigger warning around disordered eating, but I had an ex-boyfriend that used to weigh his rice, and he also lied about a lot of other psychotic things, but he was like so into that. But then slowly over time, I was vegetarian at the time, and so he was like, you eat a lot of carbs, and was like constantly laying the groundwork of wanting to control what I was eating or inspire me to eat less, and eventually got me to download an app called, I think I have talked about this, like Fat Tracker, but then also I think it should have been like the final straw. And it was close to the end of our relationship, but he was like, yeah, I just couldn't date someone that was overweight. And he was so obsessed with it. And you could just tell it came from deep-rooted insecurity, which was true about other things about him. But yeah, after that, I was like, oh, I'll never date someone like that again in my life. I just can't have that be my main focal point.
It doesn't match my energy and how I'd like to spend my time. Like, again,
Does it match your freak?
no, because I'm not going to be 75 years old or whatever and be like, wow, I wish I went in the gym more, or I wish I drank less wine, or I wish I had less fun. I would I don't know. Like you said, here for a good time, not a long time. Life should just be enjoyed and not played with like that. Like, it's just, I don't know. Ultimately, I'm just like, this whole thing is so fucked up. The naked photo shoots, him with his son, when he's like watching his son work out, he's like, he's the perfect specimen. I'm like, sir,
Yeah,
you
I mean,
good?
my lungs are probably like, but I wouldn't uncrush one camel. That's all I have to say about that. Do you know what is funny? This someone, I can't remember his name, but a million people have sent me this guy. I think he's British or something, but he's yoked and he's covered in tattoos. So I'm like, "Arr," but he smokes at the gym. And I have been sent this person so many times. I'm sure he's like 25, so I wouldn't want to speak to him. But if anyone knows if he's in his 30s and wants to ruin my life, but he is like a balance. And I was like,
Smoking in the gym is crazy work.
No, it's crazy. But I mean, he's making a point that he's like healthy, and then he'll do, he was like biking around and like lights up. And I'm like, am I in love with you?
Brian Johnson would freak out.
Oh yeah, he would lose his mind. So yeah, for us, we're always going to be more balanced queens. And we've had lots of fun in our life. So it just doesn't sound fun.
Everything in moderation. Like, I think we all know that, like, you can't have McDonald's every day. No fucking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, for some people do. Oh, okay. But I think it's just the right amount of fun.
Yeah.
Could
Even
never.
people who try to pressure me into like 80-20 in terms of like eating and overall things, I'm like, I'm more of like a 60-40, and I'm happy with that balance that I found.
Sometimes I can be 80-20, but it's not something I'm like consciously thinking about. It's like one day at a time, just like, hey, maybe today I focus on some vegetables.
Yeah, maybe I look for something green. But yeah, anyway, go watch that documentary. If you want to look like you're paper mache with parchment paper, then go ahead and stick to his regimen.
Honestly, when they're showing him like photos of him from his earlier years, he looks so much better, so much healthier. And
Totally.
like, he'll argue all day long about that, but like, sir, you are not hot.
Mm-mm.
But that girl Kate sure thinks so. The way she like looks at him, she's
No, it's so weird.
I don't even know if I want to finish it. I kind of want to do because I feel like I need to, but
You're kind of committed.
I've kind of seen enough though. At the same time, I can't watch someone take vitamins for an hour straight.
Well, can we talk about some bright good news?
Yeah.
I'm so happy. Have you seen those eagles? Jackie and Shadow?
No.
Again, did a 5-year-old name them? I'm like, it's the same person that named hippos, but
Jackie and Shadow?
Jackie and Shadow.
Why does one of them get a cool name when one of them's name is Jackie?
I don't know. It's so weird.
I would be pissed. I'd be like, trade me.
But they're these eagles that last year their eggs didn't hatch and everyone was devastated, but they just had their rainbow babies. So we're very excited. It's like there's a camera in their nest and I'm like, who the fuck installed that? And I picture the guy from Spice World who like comes out of the drain like he's out doing the setup. But they are hatched and they're feeding them, and the excitement in their voices when their eggs were starting to hatch. What do they call it? It starts with a P when it makes its first through the egg. I will never remember
Poke.
the word right now, but but yeah, I'm just really happy for them. I think collectively as a people, we need something to root for. And it's just been seeing that side of eagles has been really heartwarming for me because we just see them as these stoic fish catching creatures and they're just so gentle with their babies.
I feel like Jackie and Shadow are two people who are doing a weird country bumpkin gender reveal. Like, I'm Papa and I think you are a girl. And then there's someone that's like, I'm
your brother cousin and I think it's blah blah blah. And you're like, you're what? We just skirted right over that.
Those are my favorite things I've ever seen in my life. Or when they're like, you know what, if I'm offending you, you should be embarrassed. But when they all like are at a wedding and they all have like guns on their waistbands.
No, it's crazy.
Like, what are you doing? This is a wedding.
Well, and those particular
leave the gun at home.
Those particular gender reveals are always done at a public park, a state park. You know
Or
what I
someone's,
mean?
like,
With like the
backyard.
grill, with the thing. Yeah. It's
With-
like,
They're like junkyard backyard. There's like a rusted like Chevy.
and it shows the mom that's young, and then it cuts to the dad who looks even younger. And you're like, you're 12. Is this your baby? What do you mean? I thought you were going to say little brother.
Yeah. No, it's, yeah. And then there's grandma. Then there's great grandma. And then there's sometimes even, you know, depending on how young we're talking.
Well, and Brian Johnson could never, because there's like the great grandmother, and she hasn't taken a vitamin her whole life, no teeth, and she's she's lighting up. She's lighting up, and she looks like she is going to be around for another 40 goddamn years.
She's a cockroach energy. Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know. I think it's a balance because it's like those people, you know, they're doing great. They're generation after generation after generation.
They
where I'm
might
like,
all be cousins, but they don't care.
the
They're
buck might
happy.
stop here. Oh my God. Need to know your thoughts on this.
What?
So I don't know how this is possible or true because I heard once you freeze an embryo, it's like 10 years has an expiration date.
Yeah, they got a shelf life.
This mom gives her birth to her baby and had eggs left over or something, and her daughter wants to carry one of them. So her daughter, it would be both her
Sister?
sibling
Or
and
siblings, sorry.
sibling and her baby. But then also it's like, so you'd have your dad's sperm inside you and your mom's egg. I don't know. I just think there's some things we shouldn't be doing. And someone correct me if I'm wrong, if this is just internet creepypasta, but I'm pretty sure I saw it on a reputable news site. So I don't know. I'm just like, that is so weird to me. And it's different if like sisters want to be surrogates for each other. So they, you know, you give the parent is the one that gets the baby.
That's way too close. That is double dipping.
That
and
is so weird to me. I'm like,
she doesn't want to be a surrogate to her mom. She just wants it for herself.
Yeah, I think it would be her baby.
Yeah,
So,
wait till later on the kid's like, I want to do it. They get a 23andMe for Christmas.
well, and then also they're like, yeah, it's not even biologically it's their sibling, but then they're giving her, so it is their parent, but then they're like,
But your grandparents are actually your real parents.
Wait for 13 years, and then she's like, you can't tell me what to do. You're only my sister. Like, just wait for that. Wait for puberty to hit. I don't think you'll think it's such a good idea then.
Or just like ever. I don't know. Like that. There's someone call the ethics police on this one.
Yeah, I don't. Anyway, my point about it is I didn't like it. So I was wondering how you feel about
I
it.
hate it.
I hate it. I don't like it at all.
I mean, I'm usually just like a live, let live person. I'm still gonna have opinions, but like do what you want. But this one, I'm gonna go ahead and say jail.
Jail for me. Speaking of jail, did you know that there's a dark side to Extreme Makeover Home Edition?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Oh, like the way they're like everything from like the taxes to the upkeep to just botched jobs. Yeah.
Yeah. So back in the day, you were too young, Allison.
Move that bus.
And it was like these people got a new home and they were, you know, always a struggling family. So you were just rooting for them. So there was either a documentary, I think it was more of like a YouTube documentary, but something came out about how a lot of those families lost their home because of property tax, upkeep on the house that was crazy expensive. Like it was kind of like Pimp My Ride in terms of like, do I need a popcorn machine in my trunk? Probably not.
Do I need a fish tank?
We just needed a new roof, and all of a sudden there's like all this shit that no one ever needs.
A fire pole.
And then also I love there's this person who does impressions of this that's like they would go into a kid's room and be like, oh, I see you like hamsters. Is that your favorite thing? And so their whole room was hamster themed, and like
Yes.
they just took, it was called Extreme, so I guess it makes sense. But I guess it just never occurred to me the expense of what that would have been long term. These families who are struggling, obviously they wouldn't want to quadruple their static bills, I would imagine.
No.
But yeah, I don't know. I see that Ty is still working in the home renovation space. He's like some show coming out now, and it's like 6 couples. One of them is Chelsea from 16 and Pregnant. I've been following her journey forever.
Okay.
Since she was originally on the show. So I don't think it's like, giving new homes to people who are struggling, but they were like maybe renovating. But yeah, Ty, you and that goatee, jail. I don't know.
No.
No one really thought that
Would
through.
you fuck him?
No. Those blonde tips? Mm-mm.
Never.
Would you?
Not then, not now.
Mm-mm. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing, but an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business making selling and for shoppers buying simple.
For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify.
Home of the #1 checkout on the planet.
And the not so secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%.
Meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going.
So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling on the web, in your store or their feed, and everything in between.
The secret's out / no secret at all. Businesses that want to grow with Shopify.
Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Aloe uses.
Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/disrespectfully, all lowercase.
Go to shopify.com/disrespectfully to upgrade your selling today.
Shopify.com/disrespectfully. Not ever.
Would you? Seems like you would. Would you?
No.
Yeah.
No. Why? Because I'm smiling.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture it and I can't.
No, I'm like, he's too Brian Johnson-y for me in terms, but he hits the tanning bed. And
It's the voice too. Hey,
yeah,
die.
yeah, no, I don't.
Wait, is that how he sounds?
It can be here because no one fact checks, but I would say it's like some people I feel like would maybe bone him because of the whole tool belt and like, yeah, I'm sure he knows how to plow, but it's just the energy is not there for me. And I just take offense to any man that does the tips, the bleach tips. It's just never been my thing.
only person that's allowed to do that is Lance Bass.
Yeah, but I also don't want to fuck Lance Bass. But
he doesn't want to fuck you either.
Totally.
But
Totally. It's a two-way street.
But no, but I think he actually pulls it off. So
Who was your favorite NSYNC member growing up?
Lance.
Was it? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
for sure. I was listening to on our little road trip recently when we went to San Diego. We listened to a lot of boy band stuff. Mostly all of the Millennium album from Backstreet Boys. Knew all the words. Knew all of the words.
Love.
So I'll be going to that show at the Sphere.
Did you get tickets already?
No, but
okay.
I will be there.
Did I tell you about that girl in 3rd grade who stole my Millennium CD?
No.
Fuck
her though.
I fear that I've told this story before, but it was at a school raffle and I had like 25 cents. We were brokey, okay? It was just not a thing. Like, I'd asked my mom to buy it and she didn't. So I was like, this is my chance. That little snatch went and took my tickets out and put them in something lame and then put her ticket, like somehow, I can't remember how it happened, but she rigged the system. So when I got called to the principal's office to collect my prize, I was so excited. And I got there and it was like a used fake Beanie Baby. I remember it was like a teddy bear, like not even an on-brand one with like the TY or anything. And it looked like it had been covered in porridge. And so they handed me that. And then she was right behind me and got the CD and made that little smirk at me. Then I begged her for the CD. And eventually she made me give her 4 of my actual CDs to trade for that one. Like I remember I had to give up Robin, like a Britney Spears CD. Yeah, this bullshit. And
you got swindled.
I know we're supposed to move on, but I never have. I've never forgotten that. That pain is still so real for me that I was like so excited to get that CD and then it was just stolen from me.
Well, at the end you got it, but like, was it worth it?
I mean, probably not because I, missed out on Robin, but man, I was just like what I went through to get the Millennium CD is just, it was a lot.
That is a lot. I'm
Kids
sorry about that.
I know we've talked about this before about how kids are just mean. And I'm sure this day as an adult would be horrified by that behavior.
If you're listening, I hope you've had the life you deserved.
Truly, just like the girl who stole my Charizard, the holographic Charizard that I got a fight with when I was 16 years later.
Pokemon thing?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Really into Pokemon. I feel like I've told this story too, but
I missed the Pokemon train. I was more about Pogs.
Oh, loved Pogs too, but I was way into it. And in a booster pack, which is rare, I got a holographic Charizard, which would be worth some coin today. and I put it in my little binder and I looked at it before I went to bed. I had one friend that year for birthday, got up and it was gone. And she gaslit me and was like, you lost it. And I was like, I did not lose it. And my mom thought I lost it too. But then years later, we found out she was a little klepto. And yeah, I eventually confronted her when I was 16 and drunk at a party.
And?
Got in a fight with her. I was like, admit it. You took my fucking Charizard. I know that you did. Super mature. I'm not saying fight. Don't
like
fight.
Like a 10-year-old beef.
Yeah, truly. So now to take care of these pesky memories. Anyway, moving on. Did anyone ever rob you?
Probably. I don't know. I'm trying to think, honestly. I probably robbed from my friends too. Like you borrow something and then like you just like, oh, I'll remember to give that back to you, and you just like still have it.
Totally. I had some friends visit from college, and they were from like the nice area of town, and I was from like not the greatest area of town. And I'm pretty sure I told them, don't leave your, you know how you used to have the stereo that clicked in and you clicked out like when you left? I told them, do not leave anything in your car. And to this day, I do not leave anything in my car. I put it in my trunk or I take it with me. And they came out after 3 hours after celebrating my birthday, and their wheels were gone and the stereo was gone.
I don't leave anything in my car that I want. Like if someone really wants to go through committing the crime of breaking into my car, have it. It's junk anyway.
Like enjoy those Taco Bell hot sauces.
Enjoy my water bottles. I don't know what to tell you. Enjoy these like pair of shoes that I'm just probably threatening to throw out anyway. So like, I don't know. But yeah, I remember the stereo things.
Click in, click out.
Kifed.
Anyway, so they got robbed, unfortunately. And I was like, well, I did tell you, to be fair, but enjoy driving back to the right side of the tracks.
With no music.
With in silence. I do feel like we should talk about the sticky eyes method.
Oh yeah.
Did you see it?
I've heard about sticky eyes.
So I am bringing this to you all because I struggle with this and I haven't been able to employ it yet, but I feel excited about the sticky eyes method. So this lady told me about it. Don't know her on the internet. Shout out to you. I don't remember your name, but thanks for telling me. So what you do, if you're at a party or anywhere and you see someone you find you're in the club, you look over and you make eye contact, you make sure you see them, and you look away if you think someone's hot. Then you look back and you catch their eye contact and you play chicken. You do not look away until they look away. You force them to look away. Then you don't acknowledge them again, and it summons them.
Yep.
So I haven't done it yet because I cannot look anyone in the eye that I think is attractive, but I'm going to try it this year. I'm going to try and sticky eye someone and tell you guys how it goes. I mean, it makes sense to me because basically her point about it was the first time you look, they may not be sure if you're looking at them or whatever. So then the second time, and then when you really catch it, but I'm like, I think that's a fine line and a dangerous game between looking like a fucking lunatic.
Well, make sure you're not just like not blinking and staring like that one guy from that Pentagram band where have you seen the
yes
with the hair? Smile.
Oh my God. No, that's what I was thinking. Like the movie Smile, like Lucas, friend of the pod. I'm like,
and I'm not meaning like you should like, oh, you'd be so much more attractive. But I think it or it could be like a smize.
Yeah,
they're like that.
Yeah, I think I'll try it out. But
that is summoning. I don't, because as someone with an resting bitch face, I have to remind myself to like soften my face a little bit more because it makes you more approachable. Mm-hmm. I feel like you have the same problem. Like I don't think I would approach you.
No.
I'd be like, she looks scary.
Well, when people, it's like the thing where it's like someone, it's like my bestie before and after they see me, and it just shows them like looking at people and like, and then it shows them and all of a sudden they're like a little chocolate chip muffin. So I am going to do it, everyone. I don't know when. I don't know when I'll see someone hot next. Not an oracle, but I will report back and see if it works.
Do you have any plans of going anywhere cool soon?
Well, as we're talking, I'm in Japan.
Oh,
so right. I'm there doing cool things. So who knows? Maybe I'll try it there. But I am just excited. I mean, Coachella will be coming up right when I get back, and I always see hotties at Coachella.
Oh yeah, when
obviously.
you're in the VIP, standing in line for a drink at the bar, catch a little cutie,
or in the guest artist area,
whatever.
Braggy,
you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, also it's high probability of landing a hottie that's douche because I can also be douchey. It's kind of it's like a cesspool of that, but. Maybe just to practice. And I love a vacation fling, and anything outside the greater Los Angeles County counts as vacation.
Yeah, you're really good at the vacation.
Damn, fling. Why is that? I can't find someone that I like that likes me back when I'm at home.
I think for you also get a little bit like you want to immediately start poking holes in things and look for problems with people. And so if it's just a weekend, you don't even have to worry about that. You're like, you're just like YOLOing your nuts off.
Yeah, that's true. It's a skill set of mine. It's like on vacation, boom, but anywhere
You're
else.
like, why
I'm
is this guy texting me? Ew. I'm like, because he likes you.
No, I can't breathe. Anyway, so we'll see. I'll start with the sticky eyes, see how it goes. And my goal is to like one person this year. That would be great. But I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's not just like I'm single because I can't. There's plenty of people in my life who've been interested in me, but it's like that mutual thing. It's so small and I usually choose wrong. So I'm trying to find someone who is kind and doesn't hate me. But
doesn't like you too much.
But doesn't like me too much, and then lets me come to them. Yeah,
no, I want someone to be obsessed with me. That's it.
So do I.
I want stage 5 vibes.
Yeah, there was this girl that you feel the same way about. She was like, she is clearly someone who doesn't like a lot of physical touch and is maybe more avoidant. And her boyfriend was literally like all over her face, like wanted to crawl in her skin, and she was just looked mad. And she was like, okay, I love you too, Jesus. And I'm like, no, it was just a girl on TikTok, and I was like, and we were all in the comments like, be nice to him. Because he just is obsessed with her. And I'm like, yeah, I would do well with a golden retriever situation, keeping the black cat energy.
Like, yeah.
That's what would work for me.
I know, but you also despise that behavior.
I know. So it's tough.
I think you just gotta see things through more.
Yeah, I would love that, but I just don't. We'll see. So anywho, keep it posted on it. Maybe I'll start with the sticky eyes.
Start with sticky eyes.
Should we do the basement?
Yes.
Who's in yours?
This is more of like a thing, or not just what happens sort of thing. When you go to a restaurant and they won't seat you until your whole party's there. Like, listen, people run a little bit behind. Sometimes they can't find parking. We're here. Can we sit down? Can I get a fucking margarita? Can I start paying, giving you money in my business? That'd be great. I'm standing here. I'll just stand at the hostess. They're like, go to the bar. I'm like, no, right here's good. I'm gonna stand right here and just burn a hole into your face with my eyes. And I've worked at restaurants before. So I can understand like this. Let's say it's a group of 6 people, 2 people are there. In case other people don't show up, yeah, I get it. You don't want a 2 people or 4 people sitting on a larger table. Totally understand. But if it's like literally 2 people waiting on 2 more people, like let's be a little bit more lax with that rule. I've worked at restaurants, been a hostess for a long time. We never did that shit.
Also, if you tell them they're parking, like they're gonna be here in 5 minutes, it's like they're cops just trained to believe everyone's lying. I'm like, I'm not lying to you. They're down the street.
Well, the other night, our friends had a really hard time finding parking. It was a lot longer than that. But like, again, I'm like you can go to the bar. I'm like, is there another bar that you speak of? Because that one is like piled high with people. Like, I didn't go into that bar. Like, but I would love a drink. I'd love to sit. I don't know. I just feel like that's just in my basement. It just bothers me. I just don't understand logic. If it's just a party of 4 and 2 people are there, like, let's seat them. And they understand. And I would understand if like someone just want to come on and get drinks started. I'm not trying to like get into my dinner because we're waiting for people. I don't know. I just don't understand it at all. You could have like beefed up the bill by like $60 because I could have been having drinks and some guacamole.
I'd be in a lot better mood. Be more pleasant to be around.
Yeah. Anyway, who's in your basement?
Doing taxes. Ugh. So it's tax season. I actually think it's one of the biggest Ponzi schemes this country has to offer because obviously people who are wealthy can afford people to do their taxes for them, to get loopholes and not pay their fair share and whatever. I do have a tax gal that I absolutely love, but even preparing for that, like it took me hours to go through all my shit to make sure I had my ducks in a row because I fear Uncle Sam. My parents taught me early and often, do not fuck with the IRS. You pay your shit, you tell them everything. So I always like double check to make sure I have every single dollar accounted for. But it's like, this should be an automated thing. There should be the fair treatment across the board, and it shouldn't be so complicated when there's a lot of people who want to pay their taxes and do the right thing, and they just make it so difficult.
Oh yeah, the hoops that you have to jump through, and also just like them coming back and be like, actually, you missed this, and you're like, how? Like, again, just why don't you tell me what I owe you?
What you just tell me what I'll pay it. Just tell me what I owe you.
Send me an invoice.
Yeah,
like that'd be great. It's a joke. I luckily like have business manager and people that do my taxes for me, but like they're like, we are not gonna put you in a position to be audited. We don't like to like, but yeah, like there are absolutely things to like write off, and things like that. But
probably the only
I'm like very
thing
conservative when it comes to that kind of stuff.
That's
very like
get out of my brain. It's literally the only conservative thing about me. I'm so careful with that, and as everyone should be. But yeah, I wish it was an easier process. Just tell me what I owe, and we're good. But yeah, that's it. That's my only.
Instead of going through bank statements.
Exactly. I went through my bank account, my credit cards, just like triple checking.
Yuck.
Anyway, so that's that on that.
Well, I hope you're having fun in Tokyo or Japan, wherever you are.
Thanks. Me too. I'm probably back from Kyoto at this point. I don't know exactly what day it is, but
You're like, I hope I'm having fun too.
I hope I'm having fun. Also, I'll text you photos. Okay, love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Babe, you're gonna see the power of women, like disrespectfully.